Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Today, my group will be presenting about a topic which is treaty according to international law. My name is Tengku Arizako bin Tengku Azmi. My matrix number is 273654.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Shalida binti Sukanai. My metric number is 270627.
Today, we will be presenting about treaties. So first of all, treaty is a very misunderstood term, so we need a definition of treaty that is precise and authoritative. The definition that makes reference is the one found in the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties of 1969. In this convention, it has come to a conclusion that treaty is an international agreement concluded between states in written form and governed by international law, whether embodied in a single instrument or in two or more related instruments, and whatever its particular designation. The Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties defines a treaty as an international agreement concluded between states. So this is actually the same meaning as the previous one. Okay, so I will further my explanation more about treaties. A treaty is an agreement between sovereign states, which is countries, and in some cases, international organizations, which is binding at international law. Secondly, an agreement between an Australian state or territory and a foreign government will not therefore be a treaty. An agreement between two or more states will not be a treaty unless those countries intend the document to be binding at international law. So in this paragraph, we need to acknowledge that in order for a treaty to happen, it need to be binding by a document, and it must involve few countries at least. There are a few type of treaties. There are two actually. The first one is bilateral treaties. So what is actually a bilateral treaties? Bilateral treaties is an agreement between two states. So let's say Malaysia and Indonesia make a treaty. So that is bilateral treaties. And secondly, multilateral treaties. Multilateral treaties is different from bilateral because it is an agreement between three or more states. There are other names of treaties, such as agreements, conventions, protocols, or covenants, and less commonly exchanges of letters. Frequently, declarations are adopted by the United Nations General Assembly. Declarations are not treaties as they are not intended to be binding, but they may be a part of a process that leads ultimately to the negotiation of a United Nations treaty. Declarations may also be used to assist in the interpretation of treaties. Okay, for the next part, I will pass to my partner Lydia.
Thank you, Tengku Arif. So I will continue with requirements of a treaty. First thing first, the agreement must be in writing. Second, the agreement must be governed by international law, which means that it creates law and obligation under international law. Third, the name designation of the agreement is not relevant. For example, an exchange of notes may well be a treaty. The last one, the form may be that of one or more related documents. For example, an exchange of letters, two documents can form a single treaty. Next, example of treaties. We already listed a few examples of treaties, but I will explain more about Asian Free Trade Area, which is AFTA. The Asian Free Trade Area AFTA is a trade bloc agreement by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, supporting local trade and manufacturing in all Asian countries, and facilitating economic integration with regional and international allies. It stands as one of the largest and most important free trade areas in the world, and together with its network of dialogue partners, drove some of the world's largest multilateral forums and blocs, including Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, East Asia Summit, and Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. The AFTA agreement was signed on 28 January 1992 in Singapore. When the AFTA agreement was originally signed, ASEAN had 6 members, namely Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Vietnam joined in 1995, Laos and Myanmar in 1997, and Cambodia in 1999. AFTA now comprised 10 countries of ASEAN. All the 4 latecomers were required to sign the AFTA agreement to join ASEAN, but were given longer time frames in which to meet AFTA tariff reduction applications. Moving on to ancient treaties, I will explain a little bit about Treaty of Hudaybiyah. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah was an event that took place during the time of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. It was a pivotal treaty between Muhammad, representing the state of Medina, and the Quraysh tribe of Mecca in January 628. This treaty helped to decrease tension between the two cities, affirm peace for a period of 9 years, 9 months and 9 days, and authorized Muhammad followers to return the following year in a peaceful pilgrimage, later known as the First Pilgrimage. Basically, this treaty is a peace agreement. In a nutshell, treaties is the result of understanding freely entered into between two or more states. Treaties is enabled by the power of state sovereignty. And last, treaty have become a means of limiting international randomness, stabilize the power, and provide assurances within a fluid and changing environment. Thank you. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.